one of the first things is really setting targets, because if you don't do that, how do you create that accountability and that transparency? And so we've set ambitious targets of being a 100% renewable energy city by 2030, which of course is looming, as is being a net zero emissions city by 2040. And I think ambition, like being a city of yes, that's absolutely necessary in the current circumstances. So we are going for it, but targets are important. We've also put in place, and this was an enormous leap by our organisation, to adopt the SDGs across our business at every level, and to use that as a way of learning, of being accountable, of communicating, and also of sharing. From our perspective, ensuring that every effort and program and investment that we made was able to be measured, and to be measured objectively in many ways was important. And so they were two really big things we put in place. And then from that, we have developed some fantastic programs. One is the Melbourne Renewable Energy Program, where to get towards that 100% renewable energy, we needed to take some big steps. So we have led now 2 rounds of at-scale power purchasing agreements with other local governments and with the private sector big users to now have big wind farms in the north of our state, which means that at the City of Melbourne, our organisation, we use 100% renewable energy, but so do many others, because as we know, we're not going to make the biggest difference on our own. It's how we work together and push and shove each other to make sure that right across our city, people are focused on the same targets. We've taken 5% off our emissions just with that program, Melbourne Renewable Energy Program, which sometimes doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider the vast nature of emissions, the breadth of emissions across city, to be able to take 5% off in one program is truly outstanding. Every street light, every one of our office buildings, barbecue in our parks, and elliptical in our city gyms powered by 100% renewable energy is absolutely fantastic. We are just starting a new project called Power Melbourne, which is to really be at the forefront of pushing along on battery technology for the storage of renewable energy in our city, and creating an ecosystem where our residents and small business owners that couldn't participate in MREP because we took the large energy users for that project, but where we're now creating an ecosystem where they'll be able to access renewable energy directly. One of the big things about cities is we're responsible for the majority of emissions. That's certainly true here in Melbourne. But also the majority of our population live in high-rise of some sort, 84% of our population, where it's not easy to put solar panels on a roof. So we're really searching for those other alternatives and doing it at scale. And we've got 95% community approval for those community batteries to be located around the city, and for us to work with the big retail energy companies again, to push them towards transition at a pace is important too. So there are a couple of examples on the mitigation side.